Hey, beautiful people. I'm Mila.
Hey y'all, I'm Monika.
And thanks for joining us. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm well.
Well, that's what we like to hear. And of course, thank you everybody for hanging with us. We are excited. I know that today's episode, we are really planning to focus on kind of a Women's Day celebration. I mean, we're going to talk about health and dating and relationships and some other good things. Well, maybe not so much relationships, but you'll see what I mean. Just stick with us and have a good time. So, you know how we start things off around here. How you doing, Monica? How was your week?
I'm well. Like I said earlier, the week was what happened this week? Girl, I don't even maybe it's just getting mature. I just have a lot of stuff on my brain cells, but cuz I'm not going to say the other word.
Okay.
Uh yeah, I just been I don't even want to say grinding. I just been working on a lot of stuff, but no, the week's been good. I gotta got out of the city and took a trip to Eastern Washington
Okay.
for a day. And I was thinking, I was like, that is a good way to test drive a car that you might want to buy in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going to the car dealership, just go ahead and rent it.
Mm-hmm. And get out on that open highway, right?
Right, get on the open highway for a few hours. So, child, I rented a Lexus 300 Sport. That girl had get up. Let's just
No.
say I have fun. When it's you out there in the them highways and byways, you can speed a little bit. So,
Oh, and you have a lead foot, in case people didn't know. You hit that
child,
gas. Do you know how to hit the gas?
yeah, and it was a lot sunny over there. It was a sunny and 55 degrees, but it's coming our way towards the end of
Mm-hmm.
this week. But because right now it is gray and raining again. So, hmm.
How only less than 2 more weeks until spring.
Mhm.
That's how I like to look at it.
How's your week been?
You know what? My week has been productive as well. I've definitely tried to, stay busy, stay productive. For me, uh, it was an interesting week because it was the State of the Union last Thursday, and we don't really talk about politics on the show, so don't think we are now. But it wasn't a horrific State of the Union. I mean, the rebuttal afterwards, Alabama. I know how you always represent for Alabama, Monica. Alabama wasn't looking that good though with that Republican rebuttal.
I, I
That's
don't
all
I
I'm
don't
gonna say.
I don't know that woman. I actually followed up and I saw what you was talking about.
Mm.
Is she the 2024? What was the chef's name that I had brought up? Was that her niece or something? Since she wanted to have a
Paula
kitchen.
Jean.
Paula Dean.
Paula
She
Jean.
she wanted to have a kitchen talk.
That was her. That was her red tabletop. Oh my gosh, girl.
I'm
Whew.
like, what is her experience and background for her to be in the position that she's in? Never mind. Anyways.
No, yes, no, she's an elected official, but that was really funny to me. The humor, the follow up to that was the opening Saturday Night Live monologue, or well, I guess the kind of opening sketch was done by Scarlett Johansson, and
Oh,
it was mocking her, and it was hysterical.
I'm
So
gonna
if
have to
you
go back
haven't,
and watch
yes,
that. I missed
yeah,
Saturday Night
YouTube.
Live.
Oh, you know what? Around election time, I think it hits its stride. That's really when it's good. The 3 years in between election to election season, yeah, hit or miss. But that cold opening was, I mean, it was pure comedy anyway. So you've seen the original. So then when you see that opening sketch, girl, I think you're going to be thoroughly entertained. And then for me, my week had the perfect kiss because the Academy Awards went down. I do watch the Academy Awards. Someone has to do it so that I can know what kind of mess I'm going to talk. And it was a good, all in all, Jimmy Kimmel, good late night host. Good good Oscars. I mean, really no major surprises. Solid performances, and I guess the expected winners won. I think there was
Mm-hmm.
probably one upset,
Mm-hmm.
and that was with the Best Supporting Actress because
Mm-hmm.
it was the Divine Randolph, and I watched her movie that she was in, The
What movie was
Holdovers.
that?
It was called The Holdovers,
What
and
was it about?
well, it's about a prep school in the 70s, and the children that don't get to go home for the holidays, so they have to stay with the kind of curmudgeon. Oh, I mean, he is he is the kind of teacher that like everyone, every student that is lackluster would
Mm-hmm.
hate because he strives for excellence and he's kind of a jerk. But over the course of the movie, you see why he is the way he is. He connects with one of the students that actually gets left there, but not in a weird, creepy way, in a way that you would typically in the past you would hope that teachers were connecting with their students like this, really seeing them, seeing if they have a problem, trying to step in and be an advocate for them. And then Divine, she played the head lunch lady, or the lunchroom manager, or I don't know how you would
The
jazz it up.
cafeteria engineer.
Yes, honey, that's yes, she did. And what was really wonderful is that this year they had previous winners announce the nominees
Uh-huh.
for like Best Actor, Best Supporting
Oh,
Actor,
because I
and
saw
so
what's her name there.
yeah, Lupita and Regina King,
Yeah, and the what was the white lady? There
Jamie
was
Lee Curtis.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Because I saw her. I saw a little reel on her acceptance speech because I was like, who is this lady she's talking about? Because I don't know who that lady is.
you're about to make me fall out laughing just because you know what? We can play any kind of game because you just said who's that white lady now. There were lots of white ladies at the Academy Awards, but I knew who you were speaking of.
Right.
So yeah, no. So Jamie was there, which I am a fan as well, and it was so nice because they all kind of said some kind words, and Lapita brought up the point that Divine in this role wore her grandmother's glasses for the character, so she
Oh.
could see the world through another perspective. And had other friends, and people were commenting and letting me know that they didn't think that she was going to win because they didn't think it was a noteworthy performance. And I said that's the beauty of her performance. It was very simple. It was
Mm-hmm.
very real. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't theatrical. You really felt like you were watching this cafeteria lady who had suffered great tragedy herself and loss, but still was showing up and being aware of the people who were hurting in her like orbit. So I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. So overall, the Academy Awards pretty good. Oppenheimer was obviously the big hit, and then Poor Things. Did you see the movie Poor Things at all? Since it is Women's History Month, I'm just gonna go here and go there real quick.
No, what's that about?
Men, men, because wait, I watched Barbie and I watched Poor Things, and in my opinion, Barbie got robbed. And I have to say it like that because I think in a way, I think people maybe were punishing Margot Robbie and just the whole idea of Barbie in a sense. Maybe they didn't think she had to try hard because she is so lovely. They didn't know that she was adapting a character because she's Australian. So like she was going above and beyond. I think she did excellent. And that's not to take away from Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things because she won best actress in a best actress. So this is nothing else. She won best actress for 2024, and her role she played a Frankenstein-esque kind of creature. Something happens to her and her body is preserved, but a child's brain is put inside of her body, and we see her discover herself in a sense.
Is this
Eh,
sci-fi?
no, but it does have a weird feel. It kind of reminds me of like Do you remember Smashing Pumpkins back in the day? Some of their videos and some of their ideas. It was kind of giving me that vibe. But no,
No.
it's a period piece. You jerk! I love it, girl. You're like, no, it's a period piece. I mean, it feels like it's like early 1900s, late 1800s. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
there's some modern things. Jerome Carmichael is in there. They got nominated also for Best Supporting Actor with Mark Ruffalo. He was in there. I mean, William Dafoe was in there. I mean, it had strong actors. My problem with it, because it is Women's History Month, and I was on some hating. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it honest. I was on my haters when I watched that because I go, wait, what? I go, wait. So you tell me this person is discovering life, and the only thing that everyone is obsessed with, and the only thing that she's obsessed with is her vagina? I was
Mm.
like, how? I had to look up immediately who wrote this movie. And of course, it was written by a man. And I go, what in the? I mean, I go, we don't want Barbie with her positive imagery and really self exploration and really challenging the norms written by a woman. Oh, no, no, that's not acceptable. But this girl who literally is masturbating, becomes a Parisian prostitute, lets anybody who says hi put their hands and their body up in her vagina. That is masterful storytelling. I mean, there was a story behind it all, but I didn't
Right.
love it. I
I
mean,
guess if some men could, they would, and some have. So moving
a
along.
girl, really. I was horrified. But anyway, Poor Things was the steal, and then one little sidebar of shade. Now, I looked at best costuming. I looked at best styling. I even looked at best musical number, and guess what? I didn't even see was nominated at all. And I said, well, this was one of the few true musicals of 2023-2024 season.
Oh, your favorite movie?
girl,
The Color
girl, yeah.
Purple?
Girl, not an award. I had to fall out. I said, no. I said, when Hollywood wants to treat you like a stepchild, they know how to. The first time Color Purple, the actual movie, premiered, it got, I think, 11 nominations, won none. This time, Daniel Brooks was the only person that got nominated from that movie. But I mean, they didn't get a costume nomination. They didn't get a set nomination. They didn't get a musical nomination. I said the Flamin' Hot Cheeto movie that was made for TV. Shout out to Eva Longoria. That was her directorial debut, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that the song written by Diane Warren, performed by what I think Becky G or something, that got nominated for like best song, but a whole movie of professional singing people. Because I mean, The Color Purple, not my favorite movie. You know, I did not love the whole musical aspect, but it still didn't even get a nomination for best song or best costume or best set. I said, wow. Hmm.
Mm.
Okay, so this my week was fantastic because all things that I love, politics, movies, it was entertaining, and then it reminded me of that expression that I told you, and you said, "Girl, that's on point." I said, "Well, when we were in school studying politics, people used to say that politics is Hollywood for ugly people." No, I didn't say it. No, I didn't make it up,
Did you say
but I
ugly people or nerds?
no, ugly people. They
Okay.
said it was for ugly people. I mean, compared to, I mean, because it is a big popularity contest. You want power. You want to, it's
Mm-hmm.
the politics of it all. But it's for unattractive people. And what I'm saying is true because every time they think someone looks halfway decent in politics,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's a scandal, or they really push them really far up the ladder, even if they don't deserve it. They really do want good-looking people as the face of politics. But a lot of times, like you said, not nerds, but it's not necessarily meant to be a beauty contest,
Right.
even though America, we like a beauty contest. So,
America is based on aesthetics, and going to aesthetics. I did creep on Fashion Bomb Daily, and I saw the fashions for the Oscars, and it was a bunch of sheer metallic satin.
mhm.
I don't know. It was most of the dresses were nice. Most of people's outfits were nice. I saw Shonda Rhimes was snatched up. She must
Mhm.
have
Ozempic
OZ.
diet. The OZ diet.
um, but most of the dresses, some of them, I don't. I again, I'm like, this is the Oscars is not the time when you hook up your friends, your designer friends, and walk in their designs on the red carpet. That's not when you do that. That's not when you do
Well,
that, honey.
I have to say amen to that, sis. But then there were a couple of people who were really wearing designer things, like Emma Stone. I did not, and her dress broke on her anyway. But I hated that dress. It was too much for her beautiful body and her petite shape. I was like, what are you? What are we doing? America Ferrera looked amazing in that hot pink sequel. Oh my gosh, she killed it to me. Divine Rudolph, the one who actually won, looked great. I was surprised that Daniel Brooks' hair and makeup looked great. Like her hair looked like it could have movement, but I didn't
Hmm.
really love that dress. That black dress wasn't doing anything for the voluptuousness of it. And because it was a color purple nod, any shade of purple, I think would have looked divine on her, just to stand out.
Maybe
Wear
she didn't want to
color.
stand out because it was a lot of you know, it was a lot going on around that movie. So,
Well, I mean, she was nominated. She needed to be celebrating. They said that she actually is an EGOT in nominations.
oh
I think she
wow.
has won a Tony. Like she has won a Tony, and I think she might have won a Grammy. But she has been nominated for all of the awards, even though she hasn't won them all. So no, I wanted her to show up. I wanted all my plus size, thick, fluffy, get it, girl, thick thighs, saving lives, women to show up looking great.
You like Lizzo's outfit?
So moving right along, Monica, I know that we had a lot to.
Not even being shady. I'm just asking a question. It was a great color. Anyways,
Thank you. So there were things that I liked. Oh yeah, girl, because I really was invested, and I appreciate that the awards were hour earlier because it did let it stop before 11, and it had a nice flow. So anyway, so now moving right along, we got some things to talk about. So Monica, are you in the mood to just jump into it with how trash and desperate dating is for women? Or are we going to talk about really our body, our health, and some things that we should know?
let's talk about the top health issues for men.
Okay.
We need to
Okay.
really dive into this because I don't know what's going on. It just seems like, and maybe it's just because we've been on the planet longer and
Say
it's
it.
around this time, but it's just a lot more people getting sick or or leaving this planet, and a lot of it could have been prevented, maybe. um
Maybe,
you
maybe,
know
but I do hear what you're saying. There is nothing like when you look around, you start hearing or seeing the people's ages of people who are passing, and you're like, wait, what? Like, no, no,
in
that's
their
too close.
late
Yeah,
30s,
girl.
40s, like it's not making sense. Like we have people who are older than us. They,
Hmm.
they're fine, and there's people in their 40s and 50s that are just gone. So, with that being said,
Okay,
um,
girl, let's get into it. I mean, if you guys were drinking now, you might want to grab something and a notepad and maybe say a prayer. Well, okay, let's get into it.
I did look up, some top
Mm-hmm.
health issues for women. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go over a few. Of course, unfortunately, the number one is heart disease. Stress
Mm-hmm.
will kill you,
Yeah,
literally.
say it, say it.
And with heart disease, there's a lot of symptoms that people push aside. They don't think they're related to heart disease. I mean, shortness of breath,
Mm-hmm.
because that can be, related to any type of chronic condition. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the number one is heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a story I
They
read.
kind of go. That kind of goes hand in hand as you
It,
think about the story. Heart disease and stroke. They
it
are.
does.
Mm-hmm.
And I had read about this lady. She was in her 30s, and she said she had a stroke. She didn't think she was having a stroke. They're like, "No, ma'am, you're having a stroke. You almost died." Like that's crazy. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Number three is diabetes.
Mm-hmm. For women, that's the number three. They were saying like
Top health,
issue. Okay.
yeah, top health issues. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, number four is maternal health. And
Amen. Yeah, girl.
in
Yeah.
regards to maternal health, especially a focus on Black women and maternal health, there is a documentary called Aftershock. And in this documentary, um, ooh, I'm gonna have to get these contacts adjusted because I cannot read. Like
Well,
I
girl,
have,
I'm.
I have a low prescription, but he did it for both eyes, and I need like low, and then keep it at the prescription that it was in the other eye, because now I'm like, if I bring it up close, I can't like this is, and I'm not about to get no bifocals. That's not
No,
happening.
no, honey, that's just we're
Uh,
too young. We're too young to say those words. But I do
no,
understand your eyes have been looking at things for many years, and they said, give me a little bump,
no,
give me a little help.
he tried to be different and thinking, the first optometrist, the lady had it right. So I'm gonna
Mm, uh,
just
women said what? We'll say that again, girl. I like the way that sounds. Who had it right?
the lady had it right. I'm gonna tell him, go ahead
Hmm,
and switch that back. Okay.
hmm, hmm,
Uh,
hmm,
but the documentary is revealing the tragic consequences of U.S. maternal health systems neglect of Black women,
hmm,
and it gives the stories of Shimoni Gibson and
hmm,
Amber Rose Isaac, and
hmm.
both lost their lives to childbirth complications, which they shouldn't have, but nobody was listening to them.
No, and we're a first world nation. So I think that really surprises people because we are industrial. We are, a leader in a lot of things that other countries have the same kind of mortality rates for maternal deliveries and things like that. And we're America. So it really does go along with, listening to your patients, hearing their concerns, seeing them as human, and then also people not being afraid to be treated and trusted. And so that's really a delicate thing. Did you see the documentary Aftershock or Afterbirth? I'm sorry.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. It's available
Okay.
on Hulu and Disney, and so
Okay.
their
Yeah.
partners and families, they're now raising, awareness, and also a cry for justice in regards to, the loss of their loved ones. And so it is called Aftershock. And
Aftershock. Mm.
with that, Black maternal health, there's also historical, um what I want to say, relevance to
Mm-hmm.
why it's more Black women dying in the
Mm-hmm.
hospitals than
Mm-hmm.
other.
It goes back to the
um
beginning. I know we're going to be talking about it a little
yeah,
bit later on as well, but it's from the beginning of the birth and the creation of gynecology as a
hmm
field.
thinking
But
that we
yeah,
can just
we're superhuman.
our pain, and yeah, our pain
We're
tolerance is
superhuman.
high.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no,
But okay, and so that's number four. So now you
that
said there
was
were
number
six,
five.
five.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, there was nine altogether. I'll just quickly go over
okay.
the other ones. Five, it said urinary tract. Um,
UTI. I mean, but these aren't necessarily issues that'll kill you, but these are top issues for women. Is that correct?
right. Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
no, they no, urinary tract can kill you. We know
No, I
this.
know that. No,
Yeah.
I know that, but I would hate to think that in 2023, 2024, that UTI, that we're so busy that we're not noticing because all complete transparency here. I mean, we talk about everything on this podcast, and we definitely have talked about some things that we've faced as women. I have had a UTI. Now, I had a UTI once, but it was when I was young, and it was something. Like by the time I got to the stage where I had to like go and get it treated because I didn't know what was going on with my body, I was grateful that it was a UTI because there's always an explanation or a reason for that, and you could get that taken care of. And I do know, but the UTI start giving you some signs though. So the
Yeah, but
fact that it's getting to
if you're not mobile, if you're like bedridden or older, and then
Oh yeah.
you have UTIs, and it turns into
Oh,
something else.
that's
So
yeah. Oh, when you're older, girl. Now, hey, you knew how to get me
yeah,
back to reality because I
so
remember, yeah, caring for an elder, honey, it changes them. If you, it was interesting. Side note, sidebar, because we were at the beauty salon, and I it's interesting becoming the true auntie in the beauty salon. So this salon had a lot of youthful stylists and youthful clients. And one of the stylists was like, she said, I can't get old people get on my nerves. And like I looked and I said, well, I'm old and I'm in the room. And she said, no, no, not you. But she said, but like them old people. And they started describing things. And I reminded them as well. I said, hey, when older people get UTIs, it comes at them
hmm
aggressive and it changes their mood. See, when you're
right,
younger and you get a UTI, I know it's my body was telling me something. But when
right,
you're old, you don't even, like you said, you don't have the words, you might not be mobile, and it can make you mean, it can make you aggressive, it can make you hallucinate. And then all the other girls there who had maybe cared for grandmothers or new elders in the community were like, no, actually, yeah, she's telling the truth. And the girl
right,
was like, I didn't even know that. She's like, maybe that was what was wrong with my grandmother. I said, yeah, because ladies and elders in general, sometimes it's harder to get them to hear what you're telling them about their bodies because they're used to being in control. They're used to
hmm
being in charge. They don't want to ask for help. They don't
right,
want to seem, they don't want to seem weak or, non important, a burden, a challenge. And so they'll keep some of the signs and things to themselves. And yeah, it is very dangerous. Okay, thank you. See,
hmm
that's why we keep it real around here because you say UTI and for a minute there I was playing dumb, but you got me right back, right
No,
back to
especially people who
reality.
have
Yes.
other, if they got other chronic,
Mhm.
conditions or diseases, and yeah, that
Mhm.
UTI comes, like that's gonna cause other complications. So,
Yeah,
um,
girl. Mm.
and then number six is sexual health. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say.
Mm.
Um, so
Mm.
we already know what that's all comprised of, because there's
Mm.
beware, y'all. There's super diseases out there now, super STIs and super STDs and child
Well, I guess that's why people are, going to dating holograms now. Because who wants to
HPV.
take a chance? Who wants to take a chance? Like I said, my next partner is AI. But anyway, we'll get into that later.
And then number seven is breast cancer.
Mm.
And you know what? No, I had said that earlier. Uh, or maybe I didn't say it earlier. I think I skipped it because I transposed a number. Cancer is number two.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
cancer is number
Yeah.
two. Cancer, so heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, maternal health, urinary tract, sexual health, breast cancer, osteoporosis, and then number
Hmm.
nine, Alzheimer's disease.
Mm.
And actually, they all of these chronic conditions and diseases, they kind of go hand in hand too, because one can, you know, trigger another and so forth. But yeah,
Mm.
those
When you
those are
said
some.
Alzheimer's, I have to just shout out. There was some research that came out within the last 30 days that
Mhm.
was saying that one great way to try to avoid getting Alzheimer's or what they think is one of the many causes and factors of contracting this, situation is nose action. They said if you pick your nose, you don't realize what is on your hands, your fingers, and in your nails, and that can get up into your brain and start causing some of the issues that later present themselves as Alzheimer's. This is new research, new things that were coming out. I like medical journals as well, so I was like, wow.
Oh,
I was like, I'll break my fingers off before I put them up my
oh, okay.
yeah, so just if you do, because some people do that when they're
I mean,
nervous.
I guess
Yeah,
it's environmental factors, kind of,
yeah,
because if you ain't wash your hand before you put it up your nose, then you got environment on your hand.
yes. And that
Um,
environment is a problem inside of your body once those germs are free to bust loose. So use a tissue or take a
a
breath.
Q-tip, or yeah.
Yeah, something.
So
Not your fingers. Not your fingers.
not at all. uh, in regards to that.
No.
But the so with those top health issues, there's we can, you know, do some things to help prevent, to help lessen the effects of these, conditions going around, but we can improve our health at any age. We really can. So you already know what the first one is. What's the first one? What's the
The first
first
thing
step?
that we can do to improve our health,
Yeah, take a guess. What's the first one?
I always think sleep, rest, don't stress. But I mean, I think it starts with also getting sleep. I think people are not getting the proper amount of sleep because your body does a lot of wonderful
Mhm.
things when you rest. So I say rest, lay yourself down, and really try to get you some good sleep.
Well, you're close. That's number two.
Okay.
The
Oh,
first
okay.
one is they like what did what did your favorite girl Kim Kardashian say? Just get off your butt and work.
Why you? That was my mama's group. No, don't put
Anyways,
that. Don't
okay.
put her on me. Don't put her on me. You know who
Uh,
let the Kardashians in my house?
okay, but no, the first one they said at least 30 to 60 minutes of moderate exercise,
Okay.
anything.
Anything. I believe
I
that
like
too.
qigong, uh
Mm-hmm.
Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
Walking is the best exercise that you can do.
Girl,
That's the
say that.
easiest exercise that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And what you can also do to get it in, um, park a long way from the store. Park, use the parking lot. You don't have to
Mm-hmm.
park right up near the store. Go ahead and take
Nope.
that parking space that's down about 20 spots. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Go
well.
ahead and take the stairs. You don't need to take an elevator. You know what I'm saying? We still in a pandemic. You don't want to be around
Mm.
nobody. Go ahead and take them stairs.
Mm,
Them them
teach teacher.
them
Go
four
on,
flights.
girl.
Them four flights ain't gonna hurt you. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, like you said, number two is sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and I already told you, like I've been curtailing my social media. So because that blue light from the phone
Mm-hmm.
in the laptop does not help because it basically signifies your brain that you're still up in daylight hours and it has your whole circadian rhythm. Everything is off. Everything.
Yeah.
So, shut it down like an hour before, read, journal, do some yoga, some hot tea, just so your body can relax and get into that sleep so you can get that good old REM sleep.
Yeah, that's the sleep you want. I mean,
Hmm.
you're messed up. I know there was a movie once out there where the man wasn't getting any sleep and it made him crazy. I mean, it makes you hallucinate, you don't function at yourself, and you're more prone to being sick. And that's just
Delirious.
facts. Yeah, that's just
Have you ever been up
facts.
for 24 hours?
Yes. But I was much much younger.
I was
Monica, hanging
too.
with you, hanging with you. I almost was up. I saw the sunrise a couple of times hanging with you within the last year or two. So don't give me that. But yeah.
But I wasn't up 24 hours with you though. I got my sleep. But the last time like I was straight up for like 24, this was in my late 20s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 24 hours and it was a time change. I was on the East Coast too. Oh,
Mm.
hell no.
Mm-mm.
I was like,
Yep.
no, delirious. I was like, never again. And because thinking back, I was like, did I ever go out and then go to work? Not me, not I. I know I had friends that would go out and then go
Me.
right to work afterwards. No,
Me.
have to get some sleep, girl. I'd be
I'm not
trying to
messing
call.
my money up. Oh no, I could wake
I
up for money.
I call in. I'd be like, I'm not
No.
feeling good.
Mm-mm.
Um,
I'm saving them calling days for when I really want them.
the number three, make sure you get your annual exam, your annual woman's exam. You got to get checked out. You know what I'm saying? You got that insurance. Go ahead and go every 6 months if you feel like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at least annually, at least annually, at least once a year. Even though I will tell you this, if you are not going because you're nervous, we've all been there. There's always that one time where you're like, Lord, no, oh, be a whole fence and be with me, but you still need to know, right? So that you
Hmm.
can. What's the old people used to say, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if you just go in there and get it, anything you can stop at the beginning stages you have a greater chance of survival. And that is what we want. We want you to be in good health and to be thriving out here.
Exactly. And then they said number 4, quit smoking. And then I put, instead of just smoking, I put alcohol too, or at least limit your alcohol. Because number 4, I guess there's a lot of undercover smokers out there. And I'm not talking
Mm,
about the medical medicinal kind. I'm talking about
mm-mm.
the
Old tobaccos.
the old tobacco, like the cigarette. I guess when you think of,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't even think of some people smoke, and they actually do, but
Because
smoking
people
is.
smoke as a way to de-stress. Well, they do it socially, and they do it as a way to de-stress. Believe it or not,
Hmm.
when people are anxious, nervous, some people also, before everybody was on that, what you call the Ozempic diet,
Hmm.
people would say if you smoke cigarettes and drink coffee, that's like a way to curb your appetite
Right.
and to kind of keep you active and busy. So I've heard it all, but no, smoking ain't the thing in 2024.
It
Really,
ain't the
really isn't
thing.
the thing.
Mm-mm. And if you want to indulge in a some libations here and there, that's all good and dandy, but there's a lot of sugar in alcohol, and honestly, alcohol, it does ruin
Mhm.
your brain, and it can manifest the Alzheimer's disease too.
Yeah, alcohol is not anyone's real friend. I mean, I know they say wine for the, I'm going to make sure I shout out, the red wines for the antioxidants and different things. But, there's a difference between antioxidant wine and hard greens, and,
Hmm.
and hard greens and different things. And I was speaking to someone recently, and they were so happy because they had started to drop a lot of weight, and they realized that what they had done was just cut back on their drinking. And they're like,
I've seen
oh,
it. I've seen it
yeah,
in friends I know. I've seen it. It
yeah,
dropped just like that.
yeah.
And
And they said the only thing they were doing was walking more,
hmm.
and they stopped drinking. I was like, well, wow. I was like, well, how much were you drinking? And I was like, okay, I guess you were drinking. Because that's the
Right.
thing. Drinking, like, also is sometimes people's way of dealing with stress,
Hmm.
decompressing. And sometimes
Right.
people drink when they're by themselves. You drink
Right.
when it's social. You might drink and not think you have a problem with it until your body is like, you can't drink more than you give me water. Like for me, I always think it's really interesting because sometimes people will drink a lot and then they'll
Hmm.
be like, oh, I have like a bottle of water. I'm like, that
That
average
ain't
bottle
enough.
is 16 ounces. Like you
You're
got to
supposed
have
to,
lots more than that a day.
for every drink, you're supposed to have like a bottle of water.
Oh, I guess people are worried about floating away. Okay, so sorry,
And then
Monica.
that's okay. And then the last one is diet.
Mhm,
What I mean, you are what you eat, literally.
mhm,
Like I said, whole foods. You can be vegan, pescatarian. You can eat your real meat. But what it
mhm.
is those processed foods, those sugary foods, sugary drinks, and what they have on the ingredients. It'll now say GMO or bioengineered food.
Yes.
So how do you think that's affecting your cells?
Hmm.
I'll let y'all do
Even
the
the fruits.
research because you
Yeah, I
could
said even
Google.
the fruits have different codes. Like when it's
They
an
sure do.
organic fruit, when it's genetically modified, or
Mhm.
and
And
that's what's a shame.
you could taste the difference. You can taste the
Yeah, you
difference with the
can.
fruit. It has an
Hmm.
aftertaste to it. So,
With
and I mean,
everything, you can taste
hmm
the difference. You really can.
yeah. So those are my oh, but also I did want to say in regards to these 6 steps, I also they left out the other component of it,
Hmm.
and this is on both sides with issues, top health issues.
Hmm.
They left out mental health, and
Hmm.
so in regards to that, what you can do for your mental health, first and foremost, spiritually based, like
Hmm.
I believe in God, but whatever you believe in,
Believe in
prayer,
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
prayer, meditation, sitting in
Hmm.
silence, because you can do the physical activity, you can do the action steps, but if your mind's not aligned with what you really want and your intention in your heart, it's not going to shift nothing.
Girl, I like the way you said that. You said it's not going to shift anything.
No. So that's my
Mm-mm.
PSA for Women's Month.
Okay. You said get you something to believe in and do it. You said be in silent, pray, meditate. I love it,
Girl,
Monica.
I
I'm
mean,
here for it. I'm here
I'm
for
be
it.
real. I was driving and like, I love technology because if the satellite's down or something's going on, your
Hmm.
whole Bluetooth will just shut down. And so
Hmm.
I'm
That's
just
God's
riding in
way of getting your
silence.
attention these days, honey. He said,
I,
"I'm
c-
going to have a conversation with you,
I
girl."
couldn't even get satellite radio, so I was just driving in
Oh yeah,
silence.
Easter.
So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. Yeah, certain parts are meant to do that. But that's one thing they're working on is trying to get better coverage across the nation with things like that. So okay,
but sometimes it's not bad to just shut
being
everything down
down.
and just
Yeah,
be with your thoughts and just in silence. Like you don't need to listen to nothing.
I've been hearing about people taking fasts though, like that lately, like because it is Lent for a lot of people
Hmm.
and different things like that. So they've been taking those spiritual breaks or like a technology fast, where they're like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be on technology for 45 days or 40 days or for a week or for a day. And you know what? If you ever really truly truly did that, it's a the first couple hours is refreshing, and even maybe the first day it's refreshing. But by that second or third day, you realize that you are addicted to it. I always know where my phone is.
Oh
I
yeah,
might know
because
where my keys are, but I know where my phone is at all times.
they're not paying you to be on well, depending on what you're doing on social
Social
media.
media, yeah.
Most people, the majority, we're not getting paid to be on social media. So you be on there be an hour and then it'd be like 3 hours. You be like, oh nah,
I could have read a book,
I need
boom.
to get my life together. Yeah, no.
Girl, I like the things.
Cause
Okay.
then cause then and then what you're looking at, cause they're messing with your minds. So
Hmm.
they're programming and coding and doing all this stuff behind the scenes. So what you're looking at, then they're gonna keep giving you more of that, and then you're gonna be in your head about stuff.
I did nod your head about stuff, girl.
Hmm. And then you wrote a whole 50-part series, but that's based
Oh,
on her real life. But I'm just saying you could.
oh, yes, yes. I mean, we know who we're talking about. I mean, you up there test driving things. That's very Risa Pisa, but I get it.
Right.
Oh my goodness, honey. For women's, well, she started that in February, but she is reaping the benefits and the rewards of
As she
her
should.
truthfulness. Of her truthfulness. When you come at people that raw and you're prepared for them to come at you crazy, but I also think that her fans have circled around her and they've been showing her a lot of love. So I do commend people for not always being jerks.
Right. Girl, she should get a sponsorship from Reese's Pieces. But
For that next, who know, honey? Things have been coming up roses. They said she booked with the top talent agency in the
oh yeah.
country now, so
Yep.
I think she's gonna be okay. Even so, someone called her. Well, they didn't really call her. They implied that her actions were big back actions, which is kind of a negative thing. It's a thing of
But that's okay.
desperation,
They
but
apologize.
they apologized, and she laughed all the way to the bank with a big back.
Hmm.
So I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah, because I'm like, dude, you gotta reconsider how you talking. Like you got daughters. Like, come
Hmm.
on.
Yeah, and you think you're not traumatizing your daughters, but some daughters put on weight. Some daughters are a little naturally slim. Some daughters have to work at it.
Right.
I mean, everybody has a different kind of body structure. So, I mean, not that we want to go back to the Kardashians, but the three oldest daughters have very distinctively different bodies, and they all have had issues about that because one has a taller, broader body, one has a small, petite body, so she doesn't think about things like that, and the other is short and has to make sure she doesn't, because even 10 pounds on Kim will make her look like she's thick, 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 and
Right.
people are always surprised that she's not necessarily losing a lot of weight or gaining a lot of weight. She's just 5 to 10 pounds on someone who's under 5'2". So
Hmm.
yeah. I think that guy has to be more cognizant of how he is speaking about women's bodies, like you said, especially because he has daughters, and that is a prevalent issue for all women. That's kind of a universal truth, is
Right.
that women, we be hard on our bodies, and
We're
sometimes we're hard on other women's bodies because we are
Yeah,
upset
and
with
we
our
don't
own
know.
bodies.
Well,
Yeah.
just for example, side note, real quick, the was it some type of music awards or something? Anyways, I saw a picture of Money Long,
Mm.
She was really slim, and I was reading the comments because I was like, what happened? But I forgot, and I had heard it before. They were like, y'all, your comments are wild because she has lupus, so like calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You don't
Yeah.
know what a person is going through, so you might
True.
see them small one minute or bigger the next minute. And people are dealing with different health issues and stress, and hormones will do a number on you. So
Hormones are crazy, okay? And when you said lupus, I say yes, because sometimes you are on things that will have you retaining weight, feeling puffy, gaining weight, like you said, just the hormones of it all. If anything you could take away from this thing is hormones. You might be acting crazy and not know why, and it
hmm
definitely could be because your hormones. That is why we do encourage that annual exam. To
right.
go get yourself looked at because it's not just
Get your
what's
blood work.
happening. This, yep, exactly. It's your blood work, it's your vajayjay, it's all of that. It's all that.
Right.
Your
and
breast, your
and
back,
men
your feet, your
men
toes,
yeah, men, support your women in your family, your wives, your girlfriends, your sisters, your aunties, your nieces. Like,
your cousins.
you know what I'm saying? They just ain't being
Hmm.
mean to be mean. Now, some people are, but come on now.
So yeah, sometimes they're not. And hey, and then that's a sign. If the person's been amazing and all of a sudden they start tripping, give them some grace or be like, okay, are they going through the change or is what's going on with their hormones, And
Right.
it's not an excuse. So I know there's a lot of women like, oh, my hormones. You don't think your hormones are kicking up, but people notice your attitude is crazy.
Right. That part.
Yeah, you're not thinking that you're hormonal because sometimes when you're in the midst of something, you can't see it for what it is. But honey, don't receive any love that people come at you with if the intention and the person is sincere. Don't be so quick to like put up your resistance walls and be like, I don't know what she's talking about. Be
Mm-mm.
open to what they're saying to you because they could be putting something out there that when you go do the research for yourself, it could be the thing that saves your life. And I've heard that story more than once where people have told someone or brought something to someone's attention and it be the facts.
Right. And then on that note, also, I had one of my sister friends, she sent me this reel, and it was about giving and holding space for 8 minutes. They said all a person needs, like a friend, if you have 8 minutes, that can mean the world to them. 8 minutes is a long time, but it's not a long time either, when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to, being on the phone or being around somebody. Um, and I heard this from, again, I'm trying to read the optimism, the optimism um, company. But so they were like code words. So if your friend's going through something, they say, if do you got 8 minutes? That means that they really need your ear, and if you're
Okay.
able to hold space for them at that time, or maybe it might not be that time, and, be a later time, you got 8 minutes. But
That's the
I thought
code
that
word,
was
though.
nice.
That
Yeah.
that's that danger because I believe in code words. I grew up with a mom who, honey, we have a code word for everything.
Right.
So 8 minutes is the new
8
free.
minutes.
Okay, that's what you telling
Mm-hmm.
us, Monique. We heard it.
Yep.
We got it,
Mm-hmm.
Monique. Okay, so 8 minutes is the new. I need to decompress, or I need you, sis. You
Yep.
got 8 minutes. All right, I'm here
Right.
for it. I'm here for it. Because see, that lets you know that when you talk to me, we're not playing no games. It's serious. It's
Exactly.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 8 minutes.
Hmm.
I might just need eight
Right.
minutes to just for you to breathe with me and to say some scriptures. There have been many days where
Exactly.
we've just been saying the 23rd Psalms together, and that's just
Exactly.
what we needed to do.
Exactly.
Okay, well, okay, Monica, I love it. You brought some really interesting things, especially for women's health. We love to talk about things like that. The things that I'm going to talk about are a little bit quicker than kind of not keeping people too long, but I always enjoy when we do have things to discuss. But you were speaking about gynecology, and often, you know, Dr. J. Marion Sims is known as the father of gynecology, but a lot of people do not realize that this man experimented on slaves, on enslaved women. And three of their names history has not forgotten. The unfortunate part, if you've ever watched Finding Your Roots or have ever tried to do family research and you're descendants of enslaved people, you'll find that it's really hard, even with slave schedules, to see the names or to have your ancestors humanized. So some of these women, a lot of these women were forgotten, but the three that's named survived. I just wanted to kind of shout them out because he created all of these things. He was doing fistula surgeries and experiments on these women. He created the speculum and some other treatments, including the way when you go to the OBGYN now, and they are laying you on the table and you're opening up and they're doing the whole exam, that's because of Dr. Sim's work. But it's really because of Lucy, Anarcha, and Betsy,
Mm,
because they were experimented on without anesthesia. One lady, I believe it was Lucy, oh no, sorry, it was Anarcha, 13 times in
mm-mm.
like a matter of a summer with being, experimented on, cut, prodded. A lot of that went back to the thinking of that time is that, Black women could hold pain. We didn't feel pain the same way as others. But, really horrific things that were done. But of course, ladies, we overcome it all. And although those ladies went through so much horrific things, it was for the betterment of all women. So I really have to kind of, have my moment because I was also thinking about Henrietta Lacks today. And I
Oh,
was like,
that's what I was
ooh,
gonna bring up,
yeah,
Henrietta Lacks,
I just want to say,
because they're still using her cells.
well, we would have no cancer research, none of the modern medical advances would we have if it wasn't for that sister. And she died before she was 33 years old,
Right.
from what she had, but her body was able to keep and mutate, and they were able to experiment on her cells and to really do things that they had never been able to do prior to her. And believe me, they had tried. So, I wanted to make sure that I said it's Women's History Month, but around here, it's always Black Women's History Month as well. So I'm like, no, Lucy, Anarcha, Betsy, and Henrietta, we salute you and I thank you because, even if I, was afraid to go to the doctor, I still can. And I still know that they do know things that they didn't know in 1849. And he experimented primarily between 1845 and 1849 on these women. And, he had a statue in Central Park that they took down, or in New York that they took down in 2017, because, of course, people are now more aware,
Right.
like, yes, he, did something great for the field of gynecology, but at what expense? At what human cost? I mean, you can't,
Well, yeah, he
get
was supposed to
consent.
take
Yeah.
an oath, and he just railroaded that.
Well, I mean, if you're not seen as human, now remember during those
That's
times
true. Yeah.
that we're 2/3 of a person. We're not really human,
Right.
under the laws of the land. So anyway, I just was really, moved by those sisters, and I just wanted to make sure I said their names a lot. So that was my thing. And then moving right along because it's hard out here in the streets dating, or so they would have us believe. Now, I was watching another show this week and they brought up this scenario. And then I had to do a little bit more research on it because I said, wait, what? I said, this doesn't make any sense to me. I know that dating can be trash at times, but Monica, would you date a hologram or a mannequin?
No.
Well, they say right now there is a new movement to bridge what AI relationships with humans can look like. And there is an artist, she's her name is Alicia Framis, and she had previously dated a mannequin named Pierre, and now she is going to be getting married this summer to her AI Lexi. So I think his name is Alexi. But I they have videos or pictures of them, eating together. I mean, it's a hologram. So the hologram is, eating and she's talking to it. She's asking it things like, "Do you want tea or coffee?" I mean, it's it's It really blows your mind. But I mean,
So who's controlling the hologram? Because now I'm thinking of like legality issues. Because like he could take over her whole. He can be a conservator over her, like somebody behind the scenes who's controlling his hologram. It's too much.
well, they say that the AI hologram was trained on data related to Alicia and her previous romantic partners. So I guess she gave them maybe like a checklist of, I like this, I didn't like that, I like this, I don't like that.
That's too
Um,
much information. I wouldn't. Nope. 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 Nope.
so you, so wait, so you, so if someone came to you and was like, Monica, I can build you your perfect mate. You'll never be able to touch them or really go on a date. No kiss, no hug, no reproducing with them. But you'll have companionship. You know, you'll have someone who really gets you, and you know, it'll be like an old fashioned love because you'll never ever really be around. You wouldn't go for that at all,
I could get a dog.
girl. You have to clean up after the dog. The AI, you're not gonna have to do that.
Girl, mm-mm. I know.
Okay, I just have to put this one part because this came from Yahoo News Canada. They were talking about, of course, I said she's a Spanish Dutch artist. She's going to marry the hologram. But I was going to talk about the menu, what they said they were serving. Oh my goodness! The ceremony will feature a unique ritual for the union between a human and an avatar. The guests will be served molecular food that can be enjoyed by both humans and humanoid entities. When I got that announcement I'm going to this wedding. I mean, like that's what I would if I got the announcement because it's going to be at some huge. It's going to be at the some huge museum in the Netherlands. I've seen the
Oh,
museum, but I'm not going to
of
even try to
course. She
butcher
probably
it.
don't have to pay for it. She probably got sponsorships and like because she's doing this. No, it's just weird. It's just weird.
The food hit me. I want to know what this molecular food that can be enjoyed by both myself, a human, and then humanoids. And humanoids, I mean, oh wow. What is the world
You
coming
laughing?
to?
They got humanoids, just a half man, half machine out there. You, you already know I'm on my conspiracy ish. So
Well, I mean, in a way, we already know that because what are people who have prosthetic parts? I mean, that's humanoid. That's kind of like the bionic man, bionic. What is it? The 50 million, the $5 million woman, or the
mhm.
bionic woman, bionic man. I mean, yes, I understand that that
Well,
technology exists.
I'm talking about other like they are running AI in some people, like they're already doing
They are doing
experiments
experiments.
stuff that
Yeah.
we see on the movies. We're like, oh, but yeah, that
Well,
whatever you
isn't
see
that
in the
what Elon
movies.
Musk? Yeah, I was gonna say, but isn't like, isn't that kind of a known thing that they're trying to
I
test the chip?
mean,
Yeah, in the
they already
brain.
have it where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
some people have employers and they have chips in them
yeah.
and they
And
use
that
that to
just
get
says
into through
how much do
security.
you want that job? I don't know if I want the job bad enough for I want you to implant anything in my
No,
person.
they have all your information, all your memory, all your DNA. Like they know everything about you. You couldn't get away with nothing. Not
I
that you want
mean,
to get away with anything, but you're not your own person anymore. Like there's no, yeah,
autonomy. And it's
yeah.
so funny because everyone wants to be an individual now, but there is no individual freedoms. You're not autonomous anymore. Like you said, they have a number of ways to get the things that you got, whether it's your personal information, whether it's your, biogenetic information. I mean, sometimes we're out here giving it away for free, taking these ancestry tests, which I'm not against because I sure had one taken, but it's just a lot to think about. I'm glad I don't plan to have a life of crime. Thank you, Lord. So, so hey,
Because somebody might be looking for something that you got, and unbeknownst to you, you don't know that.
yeah, well, girl. Anyway, I was gonna say this is a whole nother conversation on that because it's interesting that you would say that because they said one country is collecting that data and they're saying that it's so that they can better have products to present to people, i.e., people in the United States, because the world thinks that we're a walking health problem, and so this other country is just collecting all this genetic information so that they can have things to offer us, And I think that that is scary because we know that if you need it to survive, people are not going to give it to you for a reasonable price. Something that they're
No, I
not giving it to you
mean,
for free. Because remember what happened with that guy? What was it? The insulin pumps or so, or the insulin, where they took over and all of a sudden whatever it was. What it was the I think it was the epi. Yeah, I think it
yeah,
was the epi pen. It went from like whatever they normally cost to like $700-800, and people
ridiculous.
need that. If you come into contact with something that your body can't handle, you need that EpiPen, and at seven, at 5, 6, 7, even at $100, it was starting to be out of people's price range. And some people cannot. They have their EpiPens on them at all times. So yeah, that okay. Anyway, we definitely sidebarred, but okay, girl, I love it. I'm here for a good conversation and wherever it takes us. Now, before we get out of here, I do want to ask you, Monica, what is our business of the week?
Our business of the week is Pardon My Fro. When you see a woman rocking her afro in all its glory, you instantly know that she's all about expressing her individuality and standing out from the crowd. And Pardon My Fro is an exclusive lifestyle brand of clothing, accessories, and chic home decor crafted specifically for that kind of woman. So if you want a carry-on bag, a new duvet, shower curtain, they have it all. Check out their website at pardonmyfro.com.
Well, I really am glad that that we had an awesome business that was, of course, female run, and I love everything that they put out. I mean, the way it looks, it's stylish, it's fun, it's fresh. I love their stuff, so I'm really excited for that. I think everyone should
And
check out.
it's accessible on
Yep.
many channels.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can get it. They always got some kind of special sale, and it's stylish. Like that little luggage, some of them little bags they have. Oh, I want everything. It's like you see that stuff, and I'm like, I want this, 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 this. They even have like shower curtains and
Oh
things
yeah,
for
they
the
have
bathroom. Oh
everything.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm here for it all. I'm here for it all. So well,
everybody getting a gift.
yeah, I love it, honey, and that's a good gift to get. So, Monica, is there anything that we're forgetting to tell the people?
No. Be kind.
Stay safe.
Love and gratitude.
Bye.
Peace.
Monica, where can they find us at again?
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartMedia, Amazon, and Google Play. And our social media platforms are Instagram, Twitter, which is known as X, and also TikTok.
All right. Remember to call your aunties and your girlfriends and say hi.
Hey.
Bye.